Hello and welcome to yet another one of the Commodore 64 DTV plug and play impressions. This is the gateway to Apshai, and this was another game that I never encountered when I originally had the Commodore 64, but playing it here it appears to be some sort of attempt to do an RPG game on the C64. So I'm going off on my adventure with a dagger and leather armour. Fantastic. That's going to serve me well. As I say, I've never played this game before, and as you can see it's pretty basic. The game I think came out originally, well it says on the title screen anyway that it came out in 1983, or at least was made then. And yeah, it's looks like a typical dungeon explorer. I'm just trying to figure out what the buttons, the additional buttons on the controller do. As you can see, it's sort of very slow paced, and I found playing this a little bit frustrating. I found it not so much fussy, but I just found it so slow and frustrating, and you've no idea what it is you're supposed to do. I imagine it's just open the doors and get off each level. But there are elements to the game which seem to be unnecessarily fussy, like combat. I mean, here I'm pressing the fire button. Now I would assume that just pressing the fire button would make me attack, considering I've not used it for anything else. But no, it doesn't. I mean, I've been killed by a swamp rat. Now the problem with this is once you die you have to go back through, carrying a short sword with leather armour, you have to go through while a character is re-rolled. Now it seems a bit daft to me that you could end up getting killed in the game, then going back in it, and then actually ending up with a better weapon to start with. And what I've figured out is you have to actually select fight, and there you go, and then he actually uses his weapon. But you still have to, it's still frustrating, you still have to be almost pixel perfect, and you only know when you've actually hit the bad guy when the screen turns green, and when it turns red that's you obviously being hit. And it's just, I don't know, I didn't really get much enjoyment out of it because you have to keep changing status. So I mean, I'm still in fight mode here. Now I can still pick things up and I can still do things. Now to my mind it's just like, well, why did the developers of the game, why did they not make the fight posture default? Why do you have to keep messing about changing the status? The other thing I found, and again it's probably because I didn't fully comprehend the controls at all, was the fact that there doesn't appear to be any kind of on-screen reading of how much energy you've got, which is a bit of a flaw in a role-playing game. I was going to say that, it deems whether or not you flee from a fight or not, but in this instance, I would say not, because your character just simply doesn't move fast enough. As you can see, slow, slow, slow. And it makes exploration of particularly when you hit a dead end like that, it makes exploring these dungeons rather dull and rather boring. So what I figured out was there were no keys to pick up as such for these doors. You actually then had to change, or you have keys already or something, I don't know, I can't remember, let's see. But yeah, there you go, keys. Now I've not picked any up as far as I'm aware. So it seems, again, it just seems rather pointless. Why bother having to select keys if you're not picking up keys? I mean, at least I don't think I picked up any keys. I certainly don't recall doing that. So you got to change your status to open a door. And it just seems, for the type of game it is and from the era it's from, it seems really over fussy. I'm definitely not going to survive along here against the might. Oh, I killed it. I was going to say I'm not going to live long against the might of a garter snake. What is that? A healing salve. Now, there's obviously a way of accessing your inventory to use these things. Oh no, not another swamp rat. Yes, got it that time. There's obviously a way, but it just this would not have been a game that I would have put on the plug and play joystick. Just essentially because of the fact that it obviously requires, a keyboard. It obviously requires it's a more complicated control system is what I'm trying to say. And without the benefit of knowing what those controls are, it makes the game very difficult to play. I suppose if you know... I've just been killed by fungus. Marvellous. I suppose if you know what the game is about, then, and you know the controls, then there might be a decent game in there, but not for me. Not on the DTV. Not a big fan of it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Hopefully it'll be one which will be a bit more interesting.